So in this lesson, we're going to take all the things that we've learned about motivation, either earlier in the course or in this unit itself, and see if we can apply them to a hypothetical teaching situation. And before we do that, let's recap what we know about motivation from what we've learned in the course and learned in the previous unit. First up, one way to increase student motivation is to give students choices. This applies for anything. And the official term for this, right, is called autonomy. And the more choice that students have over their environments and over what they're going to be able to do, the more likely students will want to do it. That's an obvious thing. If you think back to if your parents ask you to do something around the house that you totally don't want to do, you don't have any control and you don't want to do it, it's not likely you're going to be motivated at all to do that. Now, connected to student choice is a second motivational tool that we've learned about that we can have in our toolbox, which is relevance. And relevance means that the thing that students are doing feels connected to their interests and to their lives. So the more that we can make the tasks and the subject matter connected and important to the students, that they value it, the more likely that a student is going to want to actually do that task. Sometimes that means modifying what we're teaching, and sometimes it means taking what we're teaching and connecting it in unique and creative ways to what students are interested in already. A third tool in our motivational toolbox as teachers is feedback. Feedback, really, there's two aspects to it. One is that feedback should be specific and helpful, and the second is that it should be timely. Let's talk about specific and helpful. So that means when students get something back that you've got your feedback on it, or the feedback you're giving students verbally and talking to, it gives students things they can work on that they know that if they do, they're going to be able to improve. If a student doesn't know what to do to get to improve, how they can get better, they're very unlikely to be motivated to want to work more and to learn the things that they still have yet to learn. The second part of feedback is timeliness. Timeliness means that the feedback has to be as quick as possible to when the action was taken. If a student does something and then 3 weeks later they get feedback on it, it's like they probably forgot what they did, right? So there's no motivational connection if the feedback is delayed by a long time. One thing about the fourth tool that we'll talk about that we learned in this unit is growth mindset. Growth mindset, the part of growth mindset that specifically connects to motivation is the belief that if I try, I'll get better and I'll do better, right? And the opposite of that is fixed mindset. For an example of how fixed mindset crushes motivation, if a student believes in their head and walks around saying oh, I'm bad at math, there's no point in trying. If you believe you are bad at something, there's no reason for you to try, because no matter what you do, you're still defined yourself and labeled yourself as bad at math, so there's no hope. So growth mindset, a belief that effort can lead to better results, is a really creative and important part of motivation. It's a good tool for teachers to have in their toolbox to help motivate students. Lastly, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which we learned about last semester, directly connects to motivation. If a student is hungry, if a student is tired, if a student is stressed or doesn't feel safe, or a student feels just kind of socially disengaged from all the people around them, chances are their brain is going to be focused on solving those problems, and that's going to be very unmotivated to do the actual learning that's being asked of them in the classroom. So the more that we as teachers can help meet these student needs, whether it's hunger, stress, safety, social connection, the more that they can feel those things in their classrooms, the more likely they are going to be able to focus their brains on learning, and the more motivated they're going to be to do that. Now, those are 5 tools. There are a lot more tools we could talk about. We could do a whole course on motivation in learning and motivation in life. But these are kind of 5 very big ones that teachers have that we can use in our toolbox to help students feel like they want to do the learning that they're being asked to do in the class that you're teaching. Now, your challenge now is down below, there are 3 teaching situations. I want to pick one of those that appeal to you and then see how to kind of creatively think how you could apply these 5 tools to that one situation that you've chosen. Details are down below. Good luck with the assignment.